Hi, so in this video we're going to continue discussing about our work on Ultratech Cement, and in this video we're going to talk primarily about the revenue drivers. We already put in the broader numbers around industry capacity and industry capacity utilization, and that utilization for Ultratech Cement. We can look at growth in cement capacity and put that as the difference between this year capacity minus last year capacity, and copy and paste those numbers here. The big growth in FY17 so far that we are putting in is coming because of the amalgamation of the Jayaprakash Associate Cement plants. We will see how that number is represented at a later point of time. But for this point of time, we probably just do this exercise so that we will be able to kind of arrive at the revenue drivers, right? So let's understand what revenue drivers would the company have, right? Now, for understanding revenue drivers, we probably need to put in the revenue numbers and in INR crore, and this number is going to come from the P&L statement. So revenue from operations is what I'm going to take. The gross revenue from operations is the data that we are going to use for these 4 years, right? And let's format it. Now, this is in INR crore, rupees crore, and we already know what the sales volume of the company has been, right? Going forward, we are going to equate the sales and production numbers, right? But given the sales volume, can I find realization or cement realization in INR per ton, right? INR per ton. Now, when you try to calculate realizations in per ton basis, remember this is in million tons and this is in crores. So crores getting converted to millions has to be done first. How do I do that? I will basically find cement realizations per ton by doing a division of revenue by the sales, right? Revenue by cement sales is what I'm going to do essentially. So where is the revenue? The revenue is here. So I can basically take the revenue and divide it by the sales number, right? So we get this data, but this data is not correct. Why is it not correct? Is because revenue is in INR crore, but sales number is in million tons. So either I convert the sales number into crore tons or I convert the revenue into millions. Let's convert the revenue into millions. 1 crore is equal to 10 million. So I will multiply the numerator by 10. So revenue into 10 is revenue in millions divided by the million ton data. So per ton pricing, which is per 1000 kgs, right? Per ton is nothing but per 1000 kg price, and that price that we find is equal to 5,676 rupees or something, right? Now, cement, if you read news on cement, cement realizations are also given in terms of INR per bag of cement, right? And each bag of cement is 50 kgs. So cement gets sold in 50 kg bags. So if for 1000 kg this is the realization, then for 50 kg we have to divide by 20. 1000 by 20 is 50. So 20 bags will come in 1 ton. So each ton, the realization, each bag, that's the realization. Why are we doing this? Is because typically the pricing is given to us in the form of per bag. When you read news items on cement prices, you will find cement prices per bag. So if I were to search cement prices here, then the first thing I get is basic rate per bag, right? So typically the prices come in terms of rates per bag, and that's what we are on average looking at in our calculations. So per bag prices on average, remember these are average data points that are there that we are getting. These work out to somewhere around 284 rupees per bag for this particular company, right? In that particular year. And I can again write cement realization and write change in percentage and that's either done as current minus previous divided by previous, and that gives me the change value, which we can convert to percentages. Because it's a change value, we are going to convert it to italics, and that's the data we have, right? That's the change in cement prices over the last few years. So prices have been stable, prices have not gone up, which is kind of expected purely because utilization has not gone up. So industry is sitting on, practically, if you look at this data, this is a scenario of oversupply. There is too much supply and less demand or consumption, which results in this, right? This is 5,000 rupees per 1,000 kg, which means per kg, the cement price is about rupees 5. It's a very, very, basic bulk commodity that works at 5 rupees a kg. And because it works at 5 rupees a kg, it is going to be difficult to really transport it significantly from one place to the other, right? What that does is that ensures that cement becomes difficult difficult to transport across long distances, across longer distances, right? Why? Because freight cost becomes really high, and freight cost already is a very important parameter in cement. So we need to understand that when we are doing the modeling, that cement is a localized industry, and it is localized because it sells at 5 rupees a kg or 5,000 rupees per 1,000 kg. And because it sells at 5 to 6 rupees a kg, these numbers become very, very important. Freight cost itself is about 1/5 of, or 1/4 of your total revenue. So practically, if this is 5 rupees, then about 1.25 rupee is only on account of freight, right? We can quickly do that calculation as well. So that's the revenue number. Next comes this discussion about excise duty, right? And this is typically as percentage of gross revenue from operations. And we can directly find out on the P&L what is the excise duty number, this, and divided by the revenue from operations. And we'll get the excise duty number in percentage terms. And we see that has basically stayed around approximately equal to 12%. So that's what we are going to kind of take as an assumption in the future as well. There's a clear trend in excise duty that the government charges, right? Then if we go to the P&L, there are a couple of other items that are there. One is other operating revenues, and the next is other income. In valuations, we will ignore other income. We are only worried about other operating revenues, right? What is other operating revenues? Let's mark that, other operating revenues. What do we mean by other operating revenues? So other operating revenues are, let's put that number here itself so that we can do calculations on that in a slightly easier manner. What do we mean by other operating revenues? These are revenues which are not really your business, but happen because you are running the business, right? So if I am generating any kind of byproduct in my business, let's say when I'm producing cement, something is getting produced because of that process, and that gets sold and gets me some value. This will not happen unless I do my business. Unlike other income or other income that comes because of investment. So even if I shut down my business, other income is going to come, right? But other operating revenues that come basically come on account of these data points, and that's the important yardstick that we are looking at, correct? Now, when we are looking at this other operating revenues kind of context and we're working, typically that's a small number. So we'll say other operating revenue as percentage of total revenue, because they are only happening when business is happening. So there must be some link. Let's see if there is a link. It's a small percentage, but we do see approximately 1% kind of a number. So every year, whatever is the sales, about 1% of that comes out as other operating revenues. So we broadly have most of the revenue drivers available with us. All we need is a growth in cement price next year. We need a total production number next year, if we can find out what's the utilization of the company, what's the production number of the company, then we should be able to basically arrive at the final revenue for the company. We make an assumption for excise duty and we make an assumption for other operating revenues, and we should be able to zero down on what are the key revenue drivers for this particular business, right? That's it in this particular video. Thank you.